Welcome to Logistics Business Conversations, where we talk with key spokespeople in the logistics industry about topical issues. Hosted by Peter MacLeod, editor of Logistics Business magazine.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to Enhancing Customer Experience through System-Driven Fulfilment. This is the latest Logistics Business Conversations podcast, brought to you today by SnapFulfil. My name's Peter MacLeod, and I'm the editor of Logistics Business magazine. It's my great pleasure to host this conversation. Now, in the logistics industry, as in every public-facing business, the quest to offer the best possible customer experience is an ongoing endeavour. But by focusing on just a few key areas, companies can significantly enhance their customer experience, ensuring satisfaction and loyalty through efficient, accurate, and responsive fulfilment processes. To discuss this critical subject of customer experience, retention and satisfaction, I'm delighted to be joined today by Smitha Raphael, who is the Chief Product and Delivery Officer at cloud warehouse management system provider SnapFulfil. Hello, Smitha, and welcome to this edition of Logistics Business Conversations.
Hi, Peter. Glad to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Yes, likewise. And I think to get us underway, Smitha, it would be nice if you could perhaps just give me a brief overview of SnapFulfil and the part you play within the organisation.
Absolutely. SnapFulfil is a cloud-based warehouse management system, or WMS. We actually deliver leading-edge functionality, very straightforward to implement, giving you a rapid return on investment. The entire solution is highly configurable and flexible and can adapt to meet ever-changing demands, especially for companies experiencing significant B2B, B2C growth, changing business models. Implementation times are as quick as 60 days for a base solution. Snap Control is part of SnapFulfil. It's our orchestration platform for automation, as we've seen in warehousing and across supply chain. Automation is a big thing these days. My role at Synergy is Chief Product and Delivery Officer. I've been at SnapFulfil for 13 years. Our responsibility is product development and implementation of solution across clients globally.
Let's jump into the meat of our podcast today. We know that the fulfillment industry has been undergoing a widespread digital transformation for years, or indeed decades. So where do you think, Smitha, the greatest gains can be found for businesses who are maybe just starting out on this journey?
Yeah, it's always difficult starting out on a journey of change, especially with how dynamic supply chain and fulfillment operations are. The greatest gains, I think, that can be found is from moving away from manual processes like paper picking, manual cycle counts, just in terms of manual inbound and outbound processes, and moving towards a more system-driven fulfillment system like a warehouse management system, where a system assigns work efficiently in the most optimum way as well. So you're picking quicker, you're delivering faster, and accuracy is pretty high as well. Overall, it allows for a great order fulfillment experience. These days, with the introduction of robotics in warehouses and where multiple integration systems come into play with WMSs, being able to integrate with automation is pretty helpful. And after that, sky's the limit. Just as an example, a client of ours, Moran Logistics, saw immediate benefits with the SnapFulfil WMS. They went from picking, a few thousand cases per day, which would be about 10,000 cases per day, to nearly 80,000 cases a day in a 24-hour period. And so that's a huge jump in productivity. And that itself, should kind of make the journey way easier as far as the whole change in moving from manual to automated systems.
And what sort of benefits did Moran see as a result of the implementation?
Yeah, they immediately realized multiple picking and packing options. So when they looked at their spectrum of customers, now it wasn't one size fits all, but being able to customize or just configure your system to handle customer volumes the best way possible based on order profiles. So there is that level of intelligence that systems bring in. So apart from all the different options, their production output ramped up fourfold. They went from an initial 10,000 cases per day to nearly 40,000, and a further increase after that to about 80,000 cases in a single day.
I note from our pre-podcast chat that you've peppered our conversation today with lots of customer examples. So my message to the listener is to peel your ears back, because I'm sure there's going to be something there that might be absolutely ideal from your perspective. So Smitha, it's fair to say, isn't it, that the nature of e-commerce means that today's consumer could be notoriously disloyal if they're not totally satisfied with their transaction. And I think, likewise, they'll be most likely to come back with repeat business should it all go well. And it's also true to say that sometimes a business may only have a single shot at impressing this fickle customer, which is why order accuracy is key to customer retention. So how can a business improve its levels of order accuracy?
Yes, there's nothing worse than getting the wrong order delivered to your doorstep after you've waited a long while for it, for sure. Inventory accuracy and in turn order accuracy is absolutely critical in fulfillment. Any automated system, any WMS, should have that as their first priority. Automated systems especially allow for barcode verification scans, allows for things like triggers during picking, to do cycle counts, to get your inventory levels, absolutely accurate. Packing and shipping stations have a combined effort of scan verification along with shipping. So you're not losing productivity, but you're verifying the right product, is leaving the building for orders. We've had customers that say that one of the highlights of SnapFulfil was to be able to do cycle counting in the warehouse while picking or any other warehouse transaction. So not having to freeze inventory and slow down operations, but to be able to do that side by side. Rail Truck, a customer of ours who has multiple sites on SnapFulfil, they completed their physical inventory in less than 6 hours across 3 sites with a really small variance of I think, about 600 across the board because of how well they utilize the WMS processes, and because how they structured cycle counts and scanning, during picking, receiving, moving product across the warehouse, and also pack verification.
I noticed we've got the Olympics coming up in Paris in a few weeks' time as we record this podcast, and I always got an eye on the 100-meter sprint. I noticed that every time the record's broken, they're shaving off, thousandths of a second. Now, when I'm looking at order accuracy, maybe we're starting at 99% and then we're going to 99.9%. What sort of levels will customers such as Rail Truck be aiming to achieve through the solution that you're providing?
I would say that would be 99.99% accuracy. And Real Truck is just one of many examples of clients who've easily achieved that with, WMS and being able to implement automated system-driven processes to maintain that accuracy throughout the year.
Well, order accuracy is one thing. Delivery speed is also a major contributor to a customer's e-commerce experience. I think consumers today expect next day, or in many urban areas, same day delivery. Where does SnapFulfil come in to ensure the optimum turnaround from the point of placing the order to the dispatch of that order from the warehouse?
SnapFulfil's greatest strength has been not just focusing on a certain area. Everybody thinks, delivery starts with order fulfillment, picking, etc. However, it really does start from the very beginning, placing orders for product, real-time inventory views, etc., being able to bring in product into the warehouse, at a timely fashion. One of the biggest strengths, of course, related to all of that is being able to group orders based on order profiles, product profiles, etc., so that you're picking like type orders quicker. Also being able to group orders into pick jobs where you're walking less and picking more. SnapFulfil's rules engine allows that, to easily be implemented based on product profile or order profile or even customer profile, where you don't have to manually do in any such thing as grouping orders. The WMS itself kind of does it for you, and all you have to do then is just assign accurate permissions or permissions for picking or moving product around, etc., so that you have your operators in the right places required. So some of the examples that our customers have used, the like of Trupel or Lint Bells, has been where they've grouped single quantity orders, popular fast-moving items, into a single pick job, and which makes it easy because if you're automatically printing out shipping labels for each product, that kind of gets out the door quicker. Also being able to group based on a variety of things like weights. So you're picking maybe heavier orders in the morning, picking based on shipping services or destination, zip codes, etc. All of that plays a role. But the main thing over there is let the system kind of do all of that for you instead of you having to manually, group things to get things out the door quickly.
And what about implementation of this solution? Is that disruptive? Does it take a long time? What can you tell us about that?
It's a very quick implementation turnaround. We are looking, even though we like to say 45 to 60 days, we have clients who've implemented SnapFulfil in 27 business days. And this, a large part of that is because of the low-code rules engine, being able to just spin up the rules within a rules engine for, put away a product, receiving product, picking, orders and shipping them out, etc. All of that's already based within, the template. And so the biggest strength really is the quick implementation times of, within a month to be able to get your original site up. And then after that, it's just a matter of days getting the second and third or so on, additional sites self-implemented. The other piece related to that implementation is where customers are not dependent on certain project resources, they themselves with training can actually bring up their additional sites in parallel quickly by implementing their own rules within SnapFulfil.
Oh wow, that's fascinating. Self implementation. It's you're teaching your customers not to cook a fish, but to how to go fishing. I like that. Now, in logistics, we hear a lot about visibility of the across the supply chain. And then what about in terms of customer experience? How important is sort of real time tracking and visibility to the customer experience?
I think real time inventory and visibility in this day and age where supply chain disruptions have become so common is very important for any successful fulfillment operation. I think one of the things we also say as far as data, right, is garbage in, garbage out, but it's important to have that visibility. And that only comes with being able to implement a WMS or a system that performs transactions real time. You should be able to pick from a rack, replenish to that same rack location, receive product there, set product or stock in that location to damaged or held, etc., all at the same time, and all of it should be visible to the customer or end user at that point. Being able to feed that accurate stock level back to an ERP or an ordering system is important, because the last thing you want is to have stockouts on your website, or even worse, bring in orders that you're not going to be able to fulfill for a long while. It just damages the customer experience if customers are getting bad product, if they're not able to view where their order is at, especially with 3PLs and their customers, or third-party logistic companies and their customers, want to be able to see, how quickly or how many orders are being fulfilled, where their product is located in the warehouse, things like that. And with a WMS, with dashboards and reporting, etc., all of that is visible and pretty powerful. Our client VAX was able to reduce lead times for shipments across all their channels, and in turn, indirect costs from shipping errors were reduced, all by having accurate inventory. You can also monitor seasonal trends with product movement, which can be very helpful when you're looking to place orders for additional stock.
Well, we've all been in a situation, every one of us, when we're waiting in for a delivery. And in fact, it happened to me just the other day when I spent what turned out to be the hottest afternoon of the year sitting indoors waiting for a parcel to be delivered. But how can you prevent customers like me, Smitha, from literally overheating because they don't have access to delivery status information?
I'm really sorry that happened to you, but yeah, it's a familiar story, right? There's really no excuse for not being able to provide customers with delivery status information, with all the data, with all the information that one has in a WMS. In fact, customers should be able to go that extra customer service mile, so to speak, and use the system's automatic, order stage notifications, for example, to send out emails. We've got customers who actually use the order stages as it moves through the warehouse, where they send customers alerts or emails about when an order is being picked, when it's being packed, when it leaves the building. And the same is true even for customer returns, to be able to let a customer know when their items have been returned, when it's been processed, when their refund is available, is very important. Apart from just planning, like yourself, not having indoors waiting for something. It's just good customer experience when you have all that data available within a WMS like SnapFulfil.
Absolutely, the data's there. So what you can do then is to make that available to the customer. Now, Smitha, several years ago, going back probably 5, 6, 7 years, I was asked to make some bold predictions about future trends in logistics. So I have to admit some of the things I got quite wrong. I mean, one of them was I thought drones would be much more of a thing by now. And I also predicted that there would be like these sort of an autonomous fleet of mobile 3D printers buzzing around our towns and cities that manufactured goods on demand and delivered them just minutes after they'd been ordered. However, one thing I did get right was predicting this kind of hyper-personalization of the consumer's e-com experience. Now, I understand SnapFulfil's playing a part in ensuring at least one of my predictions was correct.
I absolutely love your predictions and still say that drones have come a long way from where they used to be if you think about delivery and inventory. But having said that, yes, you are right. SnapFulfil with Snap data reporting dashboards, etc., that provides information required to personalize the fulfillment process has added an additional level, and that is Snap Control. As an example, Snap Control, that's our automation orchestration platform, allows SnapFulfil, the WMS, to look at an order and decide which automation or which picking methodology would be best suited to fulfill that order. Orders could be packed in custom cartonized boxes at the SnapFulfil packing station. A user doesn't have to make a decision about, whether a gift item or an additional insert or, special packaging needs to be added to it. SnapFulfil makes that decision for you and alerts the user on what needs to be done or added to that order. And it just enhances the whole fulfillment experience, especially for loyal customers. These days, you see a lot of subscription companies with loyal customers, monthly subscriptions, whether it's wine or T-shirts, etc. And to be able to add that little something, at various stages of the order process without thinking, really, is very important. It's especially true, really, for third-party logistic companies also who handle multiple customers, each customer being different from the next. For example, Total Reliance was able to provide a high-touch gift experience with every order with a personalized thank you card. We have another global customer, Unique, who provides custom packaging and kitting for certain customers. But again, all that decision making happens within the WMS.
And from the perspective of the 3PL, that also gives them the opportunity to add or to offer added value services. So there's a win-win from what it sounds. Now, in my role as editor of Logistics Business magazine, I visit warehouses of all shapes, sizes and flavours across the UK and Europe. Apart from its cost, one of the most often cited barriers to automation that I hear is that it's viewed as somewhat inflexible. And we all know that in the real world, orders come in peaks and troughs thanks to seasonal events such as Black Friday, Thanksgiving, or Chinese Singles Day, and all manner of religious and cultural occasions sprinkled throughout the year. So therefore, a business may be reluctant to sacrifice the flexibility that comes with manual processes. So Smitha, how do you help to overcome this sort of common objection to automation? It's perceived inflexibility.
Yeah, change management is a huge part especially when businesses move to automation. I mean, even from manual paper processes to system-driven processes, it's incredible the amount of change management some of our, project teams have had to face. I think the key is to showcase your system's flexibility to grow with a customer's business, and more importantly, to scale with it. There's only so much one can do with manual processes. For example, if you have a flexible rules engine such as ours, it allows one to create all sorts of rules that are so powerful for every type of fulfillment operation. It doesn't matter whether you're a 3PL or a B2B or a B2C, a manufacturing, a production, etc. Being able to have a rules engine that allows you to essentially build processes and workflows best suited for your business and be able to change that on the fly with no downtime is pretty important. The other piece of here is really being able to showcase to a customer high volume order processes like bulk picking, label printing, things like that for popular seasonal items. Like you've just mentioned a couple of seasonal events. Imagine where you're having to fulfill 10,000 of the exact same product. You don't want to go through the same picking process like you may do day to day, but have a special picking process where you can bulk and ship out immediately. For those sort of items, being able to let automation like robotics, whether it's picking or labeling or creating boxes, function while your workers actually involve themselves in important decision-making tasks, can actually lead to employee satisfaction. I'm sure everyone wants to look at their next career level. So this gives them an opportunity as well. We've had customers who've changed business models. They've moved from e-com to 3PL, and it was so easy to do with just rules or config setup, no downtime, etc. And then they're able to actually bring on more customers with automation and systems.
So, Smitha, you've been pretty good at giving us customer examples. Can you give us an example of a customer that's benefited from this scalability?
Yeah. So Vision Direct, they were using an old WMS, and it couldn't really scale to support 5,000 orders, for example, per day. But with implementing a newer WMS and rules and configuration, etc., to give them that flexibility. And don't get me wrong, there was change management as part of that process, but they were able to set a record in terms of order volumes just 6 weeks after go live. And I think the combination of being able to scale, so higher order volumes, along with faster implementation times, faster delivery times, accuracy, is a huge part of enabling a customer to implement systems and automation, just like Vision Direct did.
Well, we know that customer loyalty is key to business growth. Even before the digital era, it's often been stated that it's more cost effective to extract growth from existing customers than to attract and onboard new ones. But what part can a business such as yours play in helping to build this customer trust and loyalty?
Yeah, one of our strengths is, apart from having a strong product, having a strong team. And when I say that, SnapFulfil, as a SaaS product, we actually provide the product, we provide project resources for implementation, we provide a strong support team, a customer success team, account management. All of this is very crucial to ensuring customer trust and loyalties retained. Constantly being innovative and coming out with new product functionality is also pretty important, especially when you listen to feedback from your customers. You look at incorporating it within the product as well as within customer success processes, but being nimble and being able to change easily with client demands is probably the most important piece, because as we all know, the fulfillment industry and supply chain keeps changing. Customers' business models keep changing. And one has to be able to implement and scale in a timely fashion. An example is Tops. Tops, as the Tops company, we've got warehouse operations, again, globally, in the UK, Italy, in the US. And what they did was they insourced their warehouse operations because their 3PL provider was kind of damaging their cards, and their brand reputation was at risk. But they implemented SnapFulfil in just 43 days and saved the company, a $250,000 in just the first quarter. It was recognized by them as their most successful project. And all of that really stems from a strong product and a strong team.
I can't believe that the 30 minutes allocated for this podcast is already upon us. The clock continues to tick on remorselessly. So it kind of remains for me to ask you, Smitha, if you don't mind, just to sort of summarize in a few words, if you can, what actions could businesses take today just to help improve their customer experience?
Yeah, I think it boils down to 4 main points. One is, don't be afraid of systems and automation. It just leads to speedy fulfillment and delivery. The second is, any system you invest your money and time on, should have order accuracy as their main focus as well. And 3PLs, I think a special mention there, really should start thinking about visibility. Data's there. Add that second level of customer success and experience by providing your customers with visibility to that data using a WMS. And the last one really is the new automation that comes forward. Find the automation that best fits your business. Not all automation would match your business model. So find the right fit for you.
Well, there's 4 takeaways that sound like a sure way to boost your business by ensuring greater levels of customer satisfaction and, I guess, directly, customer retention. Smitha, thank you very much for your tremendous insight today.
Thank you very much, Peter, for for the opportunity to engage in this conversation.
It's been a great pleasure, and thank you also to SnapFulfil for supporting this edition of Logistics Business Conversations, and thank you to you, the listener, for joining us today. Wherever you get your podcasts from, please subscribe to Logistics Business Conversations to make sure the next edition is delivered straight to you as soon as it's released. Until then, it's goodbye from Smitha Raphael and from me, Peter MacLeod. Goodbye.